Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR. You can tell what kind of a show this is going to be. Welcome to the Loshak in the Bag show here at Pub Sports Radio. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. Man, we got no Jose here today, right?
No Jose here. He's returning from a funeral. So if you guys could send him some love, that would be great. He's on his way back. He will be back for the big football show tonight at 8 p.m.
Okay, right on. So we're gonna cover MLB, we're gonna cover NHL, we're gonna cover NBA, and I requested something from Jim that he graciously agreed to, which is that when we're doing NHL and NBA, I request that I play the role of host and he play the role of expert, just because in those sports he kind of is. It just kind of feels a little bit weird when Jimmy the Brag, you started off, you do this very excellent in-depth breakdown, and then you're like, and let's kick it over to someone who knows a lot less about it than me, and I say, yeah, this is a tough one, let's kick it, and then I'm like, after I just said it's a tough game, now we're going to kick it back to Jim, who knows a lot more about it, and you just heard break down the game for a bunch of seconds. So it just feels like it would work better that way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm whatever works, but you're selling yourself short there. You're a spectacular capper, and you look so good today.
Thank you very much, Jimmy the Bag. I mean, when it comes to MLB, MMA, college football, certainly college basketball, I have no problem playing the role of the expert. And in NBA and NHL, sure, I can play the role of the expert. But if I'm doing a video with someone else who's clearly more of an expert than I am at it, why would we not just switch roles for it, right? You know what I'm saying?
I would say that you look like a mix between Slim Whitman and Sally Jesse Raphael.
I got those references, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm not sure how much the 25-year-olds in our audience will get those references. No, everyone knows Sally Jesse Raphael, do they? I don't know, man.
Maybe not big Slim Whitman, but Jose would know neither. It's great to be here with you guys. I'd like just to quickly say that I was completely knocked off my feet by the video on Friday. It just truly meant the world to me, and I was kind of in a cloud all weekend, just so moved and so thankful to have this opportunity to cap with you guys every day. Honored to have this opportunity as well. Thankful, honored, and it just I will everybody who made a video clip or sent a letter, I will reply to each and every single one of you. It's just going to take me a little bit of time, but I'm just so enormously thankful. And I wake up on a Tuesday morning like this, the sun is shining. This is the best sports card that we have had in almost 2 years. Tuesday sports card. Let me reference that. This is the best Tuesday sports card that we've had in almost 2 years. And I'm just so excited to cap this whole thing with you and Pistol Pete, Loshak, and everybody. I'm just so pumped up. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Shout out to everybody joining us right now. Giovanni, Beesdorf, Neil P, Luchase Fox says, gotta go. But we murdered the weekend. Big thanks to everyone. The chat's on fire. Starting with this week, Sean declares, Sean's to roll on App State. Write it down. Write it down. He says there's Wally in the house. What a great group. So thankful to be rolling with all of you guys. Vipers, there's NBA's here. Eric Rosas, Nut Flush, Allen, Brian Watson. Strategic Investments. We haven't seen enough of him. OG Lowbagger. There's Razor Sharp Picks, whom we love dearly, running white hot. Slatsy says that Steelers must be the sweat for you. Yeah, I had it in my survivor pool. It was just ass clownery. Just absolute ass clownery that I would have taken the Steelers in the survivor pool over the Colts. I deserve to lose, and I'm fortunate that I did not. Gerald Jones, Tony Cobbs, Domi Gunricci, Ron Crawford, Gerardo Hernandez. We haven't seen enough Gerardo. Rob Garvey, Mike M. Curb Stomp play today. Just cashing. I hope you guys are paying attention. Last Curb Stomp play today was Syracuse plus 13.5. Mark Schillingberg, Nate Dogg, Trot Wham, Basketball's back Wham. What a great group. Daniel Lopez. Slatsy, thank you guys all so much for joining us. I'm ready to get to work, and it is MLB up first. There's Nasty Nate ready to go. Birdie in the house. It's my birthday today. It's Birdie's birthday. Oh man, what a guy, Birdie. What a huge addition he's been to our fam here. So it means that this is on its way. That's what it means. It means that Pete Loshak's birthday pick is gone the way. Happy birthday, Birdie. I love you so much, man. I hope you are rejoicing in this card.
All right, shout out to Birdie. Yeah, all right. So, Jimmy the Bag, you think this is the best Tuesday card we've had in a while because there's so much NHL on it and there's almost no MLB. I look at this card, I think this is the worst Tuesday card we've had in a while because there's so little MLB and so much NHL. Is that what's going on here?
Come on, opening night in NBA, these two games are beauties.
I mean, it's fun, it's interesting, but it's scary from handing back. No, I think that the let me see. Yeah.
Razor says, I didn't know Inspector Gadget was going to be on the show today.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, I love that.
That's a cool look, though. That's a cool look, though, if that's what I am. No, I think that the Nets-Milwaukee game has an interesting couple of looks that I'm going to share with you. But the Golden State Lakers game, very, very tough. Is Trotwam's in the chat, isn't he?
He is. He's going to help enormously.
He can help us with that one. All right. I'm just feeling very, very uncertain about this card, Jimmy the Bag. But because with NHL, well, okay, we'll get into the card in a second. But NHL, it's I feel like I have a good handle on like college football in the beginning of the season when you're trying to figure out how much of what a team has shown is real and how much of it is just like you don't want to be swayed by the results of the first few games. But I feel like in NHL, I definitely don't have a good read on that or handle on that at all. How do you feel about that? If a team that's expected to be bad or good plays the first few games completely unexpectedly. Totally different form than you were expecting. You feel like you have a good read on figuring out? Are you pretty good at figuring out whether that's indicative that you might have been wrong in your assessment of that team, or whether it was just a little bit of beginning of the season variance?
I'd like to think it's beginning of the season variance, but the overwhelming thing for me is that last year the division hockey became so boring and repetitive that I am so fucking excited when I see this card. So I've got so much enthusiasm within my captain. So I have so much joy going over the injuries, going over the goalies, going over the lines, going over my expectations. I enjoy it. So that's the main thing for me is that I'm just having so much fun, so much unbelievable fun. And I just love this shit. I could do this shit for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. So
I usually have the same amount of fun, but on this particular card, not that much fun, Jimmy the Bag, for me personally.
Let's get right after it right now. Let's get right after it right now. I'm still in the same spot that I was in last time we saw each other. I'm still just down 3.77 units. I'm 5-3 in the playoffs. Regular season, down 5.57 units, playoffs up 1.8 units. So still down 3.77 units, still knocking on the door of profits. There's Jimmy Gomez in the house. Jimmy will be another one of the LA Lowbaggers I'll be hanging out with over the holidays. I can't wait. Jimmy Gomez. Okay, let's get right to work here. NLCS Game 3. Atlanta up 2-0. Again, our guy, Jose, who does such an incredible job producing the show, will not be here with us today, so it won't be as beautiful, but you'll get a nice, bigger image of Peter Loshak, which I think is very helpful. Very helpful. For life decisions, too.
I wish I were feeling more dynamic right now, but that's okay. But that's all right. That's okay.
Oh, and Big Show Pick says, what's goody? Did you guys see Max's NCAA breakdown last night? Maxwell Smart's NCAA coverage is now out on Pop Sports Radio. So all futures, Team C thinks are going to be more profitable. And another thing of Max, as I've capped with him for years now, is that he destroys the beginning of the season because it's all the work that he does through the offseason. So he beats market moves. He destroys market moves here. So it's going to be great having him dropping that. And look, Dutch Boy Fresh, 37 years old today, man. He looks good. Says almost to the 40-40 club, bruh. I'm on my way. NBA back is a beautiful thing. We have Birdie and Dutch Boy Fresh celebrating birthdays today. I mean, they're two of the best guys that I've met in this business. And just love you both so much. Dutchie's birthday, Birdie's birthday, NBA back, NHL 11 games. God, it feels good to be alive. I'll tell you that much right now. There's Sammy Comer in the house, diehard MMA podcast, and Dutchie and Birdie's birthday. We're in Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California. 72 Fahrenheit clear, 6 miles per hour, out to right center. Charlie Morton going up against Walker Buehler. We'll start with the market here. We have this total opening up at 7.5. It was slightly juiced to the over. It's now quite heavily juiced to the under at minus 119. Dodgers open up at minus 183. They're now minus 176, so a 7-cent move towards the Atlanta Braves. And I know that a lot of you would think Braves up 2-0. I mean, it's the first thing I looked at was right when the Braves won was, What's the Dodgers to win the series? What's the Dodgers to win the World Series? But then I just, kind of tapped the brakes a little bit and I've done nothing. Morton, 14-6, 3.34 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 185 and 2/3, 216 Ks, 58 walks during the regular season. In his postseason career, he's 7-4, 4.41 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 81 Ks and 70 innings. In Game 1 at Milwaukee, he was excellent. 6 innings, 3 hits, or good. Let's go with very, very quite good. 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 9 Ks, and a 2-1 loss. Then he returns in Game 4, which I thought was wild and didn't fully back the move. He went 3 1/3 on short rest, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and what ultimately became a 5-4 win. He's faced these Dodgers twice. June 5th at home, twice this year. June 5th at home, went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Then August 31st at Chavez Ravine, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 2 walks, 8 Ks. At home, 6-3, 3.16 or 3.61 ERA, 219 opponents batting average. Good. On the road, he's been lights out. 8-3, 3.06 ERA, 185 opponents batting average. Let's start with Charlie Morton and Braves expectations. Do you have any interest in backing them here, Pete?
Not really. God, I'm just looking at this card, and you were like, God, it feels good to be alive. I would say it feels okay to be alive right now, looking at this card. I wouldn't go. I felt better, Jimmy the Bag. This is a tough one. I'm definitely leaning Dodgers here. But not at that line. I can't back him at that line. I'll have to. I didn't spend that much time looking at this game, but my first thought when I ran the numbers quickly was first 5 under. I do expect Buehler to be good. I do expect Morton to be okay, and I would probably buy up to 4 at about -130 or so. In general, the Braves. It's a small sample size. It could easily just be due to variance, but they do not do well here in LA, and especially in a playoff series like this. Remember what happened last year, right? The Braves went up 2-0, and then the Dodgers beat them, and they just recently have not done well in this park. So I'd definitely be leaning Dodgers, but at this line, I can't pull the trigger on it. But I'm an inch away from pulling the trigger on first 5 under and probably buying up to 4. I do expect both these teams to both starters to be okay. Just want to see what some other people have to say about it. But those are my thoughts on this one.
Yes. Well, a couple things are coming in right now. Mm-hmm. First off, strategic investments going Buehler. His last 3 games were a lot. Well, we'll go over all of Buehler's games, and I will break them down a little deeper than that. But yes, he's not being excellent. Pimp slap play today is the Braves' first 5 plus a half, and that is the same spot for our Viper MB.
Oh, God. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Joshua Wilcox says, I'm tailing all of Loshak's picks today, and my family depends on it. For the love of God, Joshua Wilcox, do it next week. Just do it next week. Don't do it this week. Trust me, bro. Maybe the under in the Brooklyn-Milwaukee game. But other than that, don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Ski Prophet, put this in your craw and think about it and bring it up when we go to the NBA games. What do you think about under pounding it in the Brooklyn game? That's what I'm thinking about. That's the only play I would recommend Josh Wilcox bet, tail, and his family depends on it. But don't do that, Josh Wilcox. All right, go ahead, Jimmy the Bag.
I think that we've lost the opportunity to bet that under, personally.
Yeah?
I mean, if it moves 5 points, do you still want it? I mean, we'll get to that.
I didn't mean to get out of it. It didn't mean to get off topic here.
Interesting stuff here. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today. That was a winner on Friday with the Astros, is on the Dodgers. So we know what Crawford is doing here, backing these Dodgers and backing Walker Buehler. Okay, let's break down Walker Buehler here. 16-4, 2.47 ERA. Then we'll go into the cash flow. 2.47 ERA, 0.97 WHIP, 207 and 2/3, 212 Ks, 52 walks in the postseason in his career. Been very good. 3-2, 2.42 ERA, 1.01 WHIP, 92 Ks and 71 innings, 25 walks. He's had 2 performances thus far in the playoffs, and game 1 at the Giants, he went 6 1/3 with 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 4-0 loss. Game 4 versus San Francisco, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 7-2 win. He's faced the Braves once this year. August 31st against Morton at Chavez Ravine. He went 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a 3-2 win at home versus the Braves. At home, He's 11-2 with a 2.05 ERA, 192 opponents batting average this year. He's been very good. The Braves are hitting righties hard in September, October. 257, 789 OPS, while the Dodgers just 240, 755 OPS. Both bullpens have been very, very good in September and October. Braves bullpen 2.90 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. Dodgers bullpen 2.66 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. And here we go. This is where the cash lies here in this giant game. Chavez Ravine, 8,498 tickets in. On the money line, 79% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Dodgers, yet no move towards them. And 57% of tickets, 60% cash on the under. Pete, Walker Buehler, and Dodgers expectations.
Yeah. No, I think Walker Buehler, I agree with Ron Crawford. The Dodgers are the play that I would be taking here if I had to take a side, and -1 at about 125 or so is probably a decent play. And again, the under 4 first 5, and maybe a shot with the Atlanta team total under 3.5 minus 147. But God, I got so many notes here. Jeez, all right. I expect Buehler to be fine. I expect Morton to be okay as well. Kind of a standard 5-2 start from him. Maybe 5-1, maybe 4-1. You just never know exactly what. I mean, if the Dodgers get down, if the Dodgers get up early, the Braves might just concede the game quickly and save their top relievers and their top guys for the rest of the series. So leaning Dodgers -1 and first 5 under, and I expect Buehler to be fine.
Yeah. Slot says, can you lock the door, please? We need you to finish the show.
Oh, God. Jim, I'm so unprepared for today's show. All right, just give me a second here. Yeah, I'll do it. Go ahead. Take over the show while I fix this locker.
Oh, no. Okay, all right, we're safe. He's safe. Thank you, Slotsy. I understand that the Dodgers are down 2-0, and you would think that they would win this baseball game. I get it. I was surprised to see that they were only plus 160 to win the series. Let's see if that has changed right now to win series. Yeah, plus 175. Well, it has changed a bit.
Muncy being out is not good. Justin Turner being out is not good. They haven't hit well with runners in scoring position. That's probably going to improve a little bit. I don't like the Dodgers' outlook for the series in general, but in this game, I kind of do. And again, the freaking first 5 under.
Well, I agree. I do not want the Dodgers at this number, and I guess that's just the underlying theme for me. It just feels a little different than last year. It just feels a little different. They were a juggernaut rolling through. They had earned all this. Now they're dealing with injuries and problems. Everybody wants to take them down.
Right.
And I'm just a little hesitant. And there's our guy, Ralph Portwando, in the house. We don't get to see him enough. And thank you so much for your letter, Ralph. It says, been a while. Working sucks. Love you guys. We love you, Ralph. So, Pete, I don't want to move on it.
I'll make it official. I know everyone's tracking it, and people are going to be like, what is the official record of Loshak in these shows? I'll take first 5 under. I'll take it at 4 minus 132. That's a pinnacle right now. I'll make that official.
First 5 under 4 at minus 132. And even this spot, I just missed it. This total was at a decent price earlier. And when I miss it, I just get, for whatever reason, I just get upset and I just can't move on it. And there's better numbers out there. If we're line shopping, Sports Interaction still has a minus 118.
For 4?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that one.
But this opened at minus 107 either way.
Great. Good. I'll take it.
Okay,
I'll make it official.
18 at Sports Interaction. Okay, so no move for me here in this spot at this point. Okay, we're going to move on to ALCS Game 4, Boston at home to the Houston Astros. But a quick question from Rem Most, and we have these OGs that have been with us since the beginning. We got to stop. And he says, ask him, and this is to you, Pete, how much your love life has improved since shaving your beard?
No comment. But we things have been all right. I'm not worried about that. I'm much more worried about this card. I could. Tell some funny stories. Let's put it that way. You mean since this past week? Yes, over this past week. But I won't tell the funny stories. It's been good. Funny stories. Maybe I'll tell Jim off camera.
Okay. Dude, Tues is 3 units on Montreal tonight. I love it. I love the spot. And I can't wait to talk about that game. I can't wait to talk about NHL in totality. But let's move on to game 4 here. Boston, Houston, Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts, 57 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour to right. We have Greinke going on the mound versus Pivetta, and it's hard not to feel like they've been hiding Greinke. And, the one spot he's been in the playoffs so far was the least leverage situation you can imagine in that 12-8 loss. Game 3, Chicago White Sox pitched an inning, allowed 2 hits. It was 5 ground balls. He's still a ground ball guy. There's Tony Cobb. Tony Cobb's in the house. Tony Cobbs, thank you so much for the dono, man. It means a ton to us. Thank you so much for your support of what we do here. It means the world. Greinke in the postseason has good numbers: 4-6, 3.57 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. In the season this year, he went 11-6, 4.16 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, just 120 Ks in 171 innings. And you have to feel like Baker's been hiding him. Baker has been hiding him. At home, he was bad this year. 5-4, 4.87 ERA, 275 opponents batting average. He was much better on the road. 6-2, 3.45 ERA, 226 opponents batting average. Going up against Victoria-born Nick Pivetta, 9-8, 4.53 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, 175 Ks in 155 innings. Game 1, he went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 5-0 loss. I was surprised that he got that start. Him coming in to close out Game 3 was unbelievable. I was extremely impressed of the heart of this guy. 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks, gets the win in a 13-inning game, closed it out. Astros versus righties in September, October, been hitting them very hard. 271, 796 OPS, but not as hard as the Red Sox. 269, 837 OPS. Astros bullpen 4.04 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. Red Sox bullpen 3.92 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. Arthur Meade Jr. says Greinke will get hit tonight. Viper MB says Pivetta is an auto fade. I'm on the over. Stan Lynch says Red Sox team total over 4.5 at -130. Let's move over to the cash flow and set the table here for Pistol Pete Loshak. This first 5 is sitting at a +5, at a 5.5. It was initially juiced to the under. It's now slightly juiced to the under. And in a full game situation here, the total sitting at 10. So faith in the bullpens, not the starters, the market has. And the Red Sox open up -128. They're now -124. A 4-cent move towards the Astros. And we have 3,669 tickets in. 60% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Red Sox. Market move towards the Astros. 43% of the tickets on the under, so the public on the over, but 95% of the cash on the under. Wildly interesting here. Take it away, Pete. Astros, Red Sox.
Yeah, my only I'm going to pass on this one. There's too many unknowns here at play. I definitely am expecting very little from Greinke here, but you don't know how long they're going to leave him in. I would expect Greinke to get hit. I wouldn't take a shot with the total at 10 right now, so I just have very little to say about this one other than, I would expect Greinke to get hit as long as he's in there, but as of right now, it's a pass for me.
Baseball data here, pitcher versus batter. Against Greinke, they're hitting 278 with an 877 OPS. So we have 27 for 97 with 8 homers. 3 by Hunter Renfroe, 2 by JT Martinez, 2 by Enrique Hernandez, 1 by Travis Shaw. So
I've just roughly and accurately forecasted Greinke to be overvalued for most of the year, and I have the same forecast here.
Yeah, I find the volatility enormous here. And Kev still running very hot. He swept the board yesterday in baseball. 4 bets, cashed them all. Great job, Kevin Riley. I just feel like the volatility is so high in this game, and the overs keep cashing. The public's on the overs. I didn't find anything really, especially with this huge NHL card, the opening of NBA. I just didn't find anything too appealing for me.
I would if Greinke does get hit a bit, the Boston's not down too bad, or even if they're down a decent amount and you take a plus line, I would consider betting Boston on the live line after Greinke's gone.
Yeah, it's Gerald Jones, cash Red Sox, and the over last night. Also took Sox for the series before the game last night. Yeah, clearly Baker's been hiding Greinke. So I don't know. Hard to feel confident. And I've got enough action, and I got a ton of NHL action, a ton. So I'm pretty comfortable. I know that the breakdown you may find it kind of boring, but I think the most important note from the marketplace today is that these games have all been going over, and big bets are coming in on the under. That's about the only note I can take from it.
Yeah, I mean, 10 is a little bit yeah. I mean, my numbers, I'm not going to bet it, but if this were a regular season game, despite the fact that I'm down on Greinke, I'd still be lean under. If it were a regular season game, that is.
Yeah. Which
is not, obviously, but yeah.
All righty. Well, there you have it. There is the MLB playoffs. Kev Riley says, what's the line on Houston? It's moved 4 cents, so it's a minus 124 now at Pinnacle. Oh, sorry, the Red Sox. So sorry, the Red Sox minus 124 at Pinnacle. So what is? Sorry, let me just give you the click on this and give you the.
And I definitely. I mean, we don't talk about live betting that much, but I definitely think that a live bet on Houston, if they're down after Greinke's gone, might be worth a shot, a good shot.
Yeah, I figured that's what you meant when you said I'd live bet.
What I say, Boston?
Yeah, you said Boston as soon as Houston was out, and I was like, but that's what you meant. You meant as soon as Greinke goes down, live bet Houston. You can get Houston anywhere between plus 108 at Bodog and plus 120 at Sports Interaction. All right. Okay. All right. Let's move on to NBA. NBA is up next. The season begins. Pistol Pete Loshak. Take it away.
I'm not loving life right now, Jimmy the Bag. All right, Brooklyn and Milwaukee, right? The rematch of the playoff series, and these kinds of series tend to go under early when the rematch is early in the season. They tend to go under, and I know that last year the regular season matchups between the Bucks and the Nets went they were around 240 or whatever the average was. And then in the playoffs, they were like 30 points lower. And, obviously this isn't a playoff situation, but it's not a complete regular season situation either, I don't think. And I was looking at this, I was thinking that, and Kyrie Irving is a big loss for the Nets. You remember when Kyrie went down, they really couldn't handle having him out. They got hit by that. And also, rule changes are always very important, and I know that the NBA is implementing this change to prevent non-basketball moves, whatever that means, but they're trying to, cut down on those fake fouls. I also think that in this game in particular, there might be a little bit of less crackdown, less foul calling, and that affects Harden particularly because we know the style that he plays. Millsap and Aldridge kind of thrive more in a half-court game, so I think that the offense is going to slow down while they're in the game a little bit, and you add it all up, and I was kind of really liking, maybe loving the under. I know that it was 240 recently, and then on the overnight, and now it's dropped about 5 or 6 points, so obviously I like it a lot less. But that was what I was going to come in here and give. Ski Prophet commented that he doesn't like the under, or he was not on the under, and also doesn't like taking the ass end of a market move. Obviously, yes, that is something that is scary, but it doesn't always mean that there's still not a little bit of value or even a lot of value after those big market moves. And, at 234, I'd still be feeling that way, and the first half under as well at 118 or so. But that's why I'm opening this segment, and they're going to kick it to more of an expert in Jimmy the Bag. What do you think? Under Jimmy the Bag?
I didn't want to take the under when it moved to 237, just because I thought that was the ass end of the line. 233 is
234. There's no 234s now. Come on.
There is. Yes, there is, but there's 233s too. Your long-term success in gambling will be poor if you take lines at that spot, and I expect it to go back up. I think that the Sharps will try to middle this, or at least put themselves in a situation where there's far less risk. So I want nothing to do with the total. To me, the main points here are the Brooklyn Nets right now are a better team than they were in the playoffs last year.
Right.
And I hate that Stern said to Kyrie that he hopes he gets vaccinated, because that's the last thing. Kyrie is not going to bow down to anybody, and he's making a social statement, which is what he's doing now. He's cares more about the injustices going on in the world right now than basketball. And you can say that that's a very courageous thing that he's doing. And last thing he's going to bow down to is fucking Stern. So that cost us another few months minimum, I thought, when he said that shit. So, but in saying that, Patty Mills, Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge, this is a better. Patty Mills, I think, is a nice piece. This is just a better team. It's a better team than it was last year. So that's the first thing for me.
Definitely, yeah.
The second thing for me is the ring ceremony and the banner unveiling.
Yeah, but right. Go ahead.
I know that's just an old thing that you want to stay with the times and keep advancing your handicapping, and just the fact that there's a ring ceremony and banner unveiling, and we have this bias because we just saw the Tampa Bay Lightning go through that and get smoked by the Penguins, who are missing Malkin and Crosby. So, but those two things I think will play against them. And then the third biggest point to me in this game is Bobby Portis was an animal in the playoffs. I mean, he certainly is my favorite Buck. He was just a monster, and he added a toughness, a junkyard dog mentality. Lopez would come out, and all of a sudden he'd be like, "This is the toughest." The toughness that the Bucks showed in the playoffs won't be there. A big piece of their toughness is playing for the Miami Heat, and then you have another big piece of their toughness in Bobby Portis not being in the lineup. So Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. I love how he stayed sharp in the offseason by playing for Team USA. I think this is a better team than it was last year, and I think Nets take care of it, and I'm on Nets money line, plus 100.
Really? Yeah, Dennis Garcia loves it. I hear what you. I mean, I agree with you that the Bucks are not changed from last year, which is not necessarily probably. You'd like to see them maybe a little bit better, and then the Nets are definitely improved. And as far as the flag raising ceremony or the banner raising ceremony, I mean, does that not maybe factor in more in? I don't have any stats for it, but factor in more in the NHL, because there's in the NBA, there's a lot of skill involved, and I'm not sure if that is impacted as much by intensity. And Giannis, if you read the quote from him, he says he's not satisfied, right? He wants to come out, and he says he's not even close, right? It's like Denzel Washington, Malcolm X. He's like, no, I'm not satisfied. I don't know. It seems like he wants to come here and make a statement that I don't know, that 1 year wasn't a fluke. What do you think, Jim?
I think he's going to do that all year long.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do that all season long.
But you think there'll be a letdown because of the flag, because of the banner ceremony?
I fear I am simplifying this a little too much. And if it was only the ceremony that I was believing in, I would be scared. But this Brooklyn Nets team, without Kyrie Irving, is the best team in the NBA. So I don't care that Kyrie's not there. I don't expect to see him back anytime soon. And I just think this is a very good basketball team that was a toe away from going to the NBA Finals and then likely winning the NBA Finals. And I think that they want to show that they don't need Kyrie, that they can beat this Bucks team. And the Bucks is not that scary defensive, huge shoulders team. I mean, look, Tucker came up to Toronto and played for us and was an instant fan favorite. I mean, he's a tough guy. Bobby Portis is a tough guy. And you take those two guys out of your lineup, and look, they're still an excellent basketball team, and I think the only fear is that this is too easy. Mm-hmm. That's my fear. That the Nets winning game one, I find it's very easy. In fact, I find both of these games pretty easy, and that's what scares me.
Why? Okay. Considering that the playoff, I understand that the regular season games went to 240 or whatever. So considering the playoff games averaged like 205 or 206 or something like that. And again, this is not a playoff atmosphere, but it is an intense atmosphere. Why do you not like an under even at 233? Let's say it had opened at 233. Why would you not have liked that under?
Just because I fear the second half. So my first instinct was the first quarter under 60. I came close to betting it, and I was like, I like it. I like the first quarter under 60. I wonder, and that wasn't even really moving. And let me just see if it's up right now here. First quarter, it's at 59.5, juice to the over, so it just moved. That was my look. But then I thought to myself, I don't like betting totals in any sport in the first week or of the season. And I was like, look, I really like the Bucks. I really like the Nets here. So let's just keep it simple. Here we go. This is 14,854 tickets in. 40% of the tickets, 48% of the tickets are on the Nets, 60% of the cash. So big bets coming out on the Nets. I like that. And then for the total, and you guys could guess this, when it goes down 6.5 points or 6 points, 48% of tickets are on the over, 90% of cash is on the over. And, that always happens when there's a move that's this big in the market that tons of people think that they're getting a huge advantage.
Right. Okay, Jimmy the Bag, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. No one tail this. I'll take the first half under at 118.5. And I'll take the Milwaukee full game team total under at 117.5.
Okay. Bucks team total under at 117.5. What's the juice associated with those?
First one is 110. The team total is minus 115. I'll look at some commenting on that.
Well, we're gonna let them come in. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the totals. Ixnizzle with the same kind of thinks that there's better angles, at least simple angles for us here. But some great looks have come in from our guys in the chat. One was Dutchy. Dutch gave out the Harden assists prop when it was available at MGM at 8.5 at minus 120. 8.5. I mean, it quickly moved to 9.5 at minus 140, and right now it's at. Let me just pull it up right now. It's just you got to stick with these guys on our 4 p.m. show because they just get you ahead of the market. It's 9.5 minus 140, so a huge move there. Ray Charles has Durant over 8.5 boards at plus 106. Durant over 30.5 points. Harden over 25.5 points at minus 116. And it's a little easier this year with the juice down on player props because they made so much money on player props they realize they don't need to juice them too hard. But I'm trying so hard to stay away from it. Oh yeah, it's so stupid. I said Stern, and he's what am I talking about? Sorry, still thinking of the old time Viper. Viper's like Stern is dead. Yeah, that was my bad. That was Silver I was talking about. Sorry, I apologize. Okay, so it's pretty. Kevin Riley says I like your first quarter look to me. I like it too, but I just don't feel like I need to force it. I think I'm just going to keep it very simple, and I got plus 100. I like it. That's my deal. Simple here. But at 4 p.m., check out our show today. Got the boys all rocking on it, and our NBA closing line show was a thing of beauty yesterday. So,
All right, I'm scanning everything. Yeah, a lot of people liking Brooklyn here. Jimmy the Bag.
And Dennis Garcia said, went through my numbers. Player props are fine if you play them under, at least for him. People believe in this spot here. North Ender saying that 8.5 minus 120 would a steal. I heavy's with you on the Bucks team total under. Silence on Joe Harris over 10.5 points and over 2.5 threes. I like those a lot. But I'm just going to keep things very, very simple early in the year. Viper says under would be my look, but Nets money line seems safer to me. That's my feeling as well. Hoops 90 says even Bucks first half money line is better than full game. I'm comfortable with this. So I'm on the Nets money line plus 100, and our guy Pistol Pete Loshak's on the first half under for the Bucks. Oh no, that's first half under in the game at 118.5, and the Bucks team total under 117 at minus 115.
Ray Charles 27 says there will be points, and I don't like the fact that Ski Profit is non-committal on the total. I didn't see him say he liked the over, but he definitely said he's not on the under. Yeah,
Nathan Cerna says that the Bucks want you. The books want you to believe in the Nets. Yeah, and 60% of the cash is there, but less than half of the tickets. So I'm pretty comfortable with this spot. Let's move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. Golden State Warriors at LA Lakers. We're at Staples Center in LA, California. Take it away, Pete.
Man, this one is tough. Obviously, the Lakers have a lot of new pieces, and in the preseason, what wasn't going well for them, right? But they've got, obviously a huge amount of talent. The Golden State, great in the preseason, but Steph Curry just tends to underwhelm at the Staples Center, doesn't he? Tends to underwhelm at the Staples Center. On the other hand, the Lakers tend to underwhelm in home openers as well. It's been I don't know how many seasons it's been, but a bunch of seasons that the Lakers have just delivered a dud in their home opener. Steph Curry's looking great, looking in prime form, and it seems to me like that will definitely continue. For the next, maybe the entire season, but at least the next bunch of weeks and months. But I don't know about this particular game. How cohesive are the Lakers going to be with their big three and everything? This game, it has me scratching my head. I'm sure there, when you have a game like that, there usually is like a sneaky good play, especially with player props. I was thinking maybe Westbrook assists under at 9.5 or something like that, or maybe Draymond Green rebounds over, something like that. But as far as the spread is concerned, I definitely don't want to bet on the Lakers here. Don't really want to bet on Golden State with Curry's history at the Staples Center. So I'd be thinking, my only thoughts right now, maybe Westbrook assists under, and maybe some kind of rebounding over for the Lakers. Give me the bag. I'm very confused about this game. What's your take on it?
Well, again, I find this very simple, and that scares me.
Right.
It doesn't make me really feel more confident. Right now, I see a Warriors team that's in transition. Kuminga and Moses Moody in the draft, and then last year you get the first overall pick of Wiseman, who's not available, so we'll see a lot of Looney in this game. The Lakers have a ton of injuries. I mean, and that will make you uncomfortable. Taylor Horton Tucker, Ellington, Ariza, Malik Monk questionable, Kendrick Nunn questionable. But, and this is a big but for me, this is a very different year for a home opener for the Lakers. They get knocked out in the first round like schmucks.
Right.
They bring in Westbrook. They have the oldest team we've seen in the NBA in how long? This is now, and I only waited, and I ended up not waiting. I was like, I don't think it's going to happen. But I had an inkling that we could get a 3 in this game. The Lakers have a ton to prove, and they're going. I just thought it was such a comfortable spot to back them here. Look, the Warriors could come out real fast. This is a game where I want all 48 minutes for the Lakers. But this is an old team with a lot to prove. This is not your regular game one of the season when they've been a juggernaut and won the championship or lost in the championship. Or this is LeBron getting not on top 5 and top 10 lists. This is people making fun of how old this team is, and now they've got injuries. Look, I know that there's a ton of sharps on the Warriors, and maybe at 5.5, that was the play the spot to be on. You have 48% of the tickets on the Warriors, 46% of the cash, so a little bit more cash than tickets on the Lakers on the spread, and then 78% of the cash on the over, 49% of tickets on the over. But I just feel like this is so different from prior years, and the Lakers want to show out right away. They want to win this game right away. Now, no one said that or anything. Like, it's not. And LeBron would never say that. Like, he doesn't. He can figure out the rotations. I mean, look, 3 players returned from last year's team, and one's Taylor Horton Tucker, who's not even in the lineup. So 2 players are back from that team. So yeah, that's some uncomfort. You think they've got a lot to figure out, but I just feel like they have a lot to prove, and so I'm very comfortable on the Lakers. Minus 3.5. Trotway, I'm liking AD over 24.5. Billy Briz on the Curry over 4.5 threes for Billy Briz, and Ski Profit saying Warriors getting too much love in my opinion, but I won't bet the Lakers right now because I could be biased. Look, I find this. No, look, we could show up here tomorrow and I'm 0-2. I find this very easy. The Lakers got destroyed. Well, not destroyed. They look very bad in the playoffs, losing the first round. They reshuffle their whole team. They're an old team. There's question marks all over the place, and I just expect them to step up and win this game. But by 5 to 8 points. So I'm very comfortably on the Lakers -3.5 and -110.
I agree. I expect a good game from AD, and I was thinking maybe the rebounds over. I'm seeing 8.5 at +100 at Pinnacle. I'm looking around to find something maybe a little bit better, maybe like 7.5 at not too bad of a favorite line. What do you think about that? I agree that in general, I'm kind of looking for some kind of player prop with Anthony Davis for him to have a good game.
I have a vividness of what happened to me in the second half of last season, and it was the player props getting hurt by them. Millsy, I'm so sorry to call you Brizzy. I'm so sorry. Millsy, I'm so sorry. Maybe come on our NFL Sunday show. We can change that shit. But Millsy, I'm so sorry. So that was Millsy on the over 4.5 threes. My fault. Sean Thompson's on the under 228.5, and he loves it. Paul Thompson says, Woodbine, want you live, please? I would love to, but don't worry. Friday and Saturday, Breeders' Cup in like 2.5 weeks. I'll be live for all that. So I just don't want to mess with the player prop. I don't want to complicate something when I find it very simple.
Yeah.
So I agree that AD should be strong here, but I feel like I did too much sort of guessing, or maybe I was capping from a fan perspective with player props. And I'm just going to keep everything very simple here. And I think that Sebastian A says Lakers always start their season a bit slow. Look, I can't disagree with the narrative more. They were embarrassed in the first round. So I look, this is a team that wants to prove. If they start 4-5 or something like that, the naysayers are going to be everywhere. So, and I think there's a ton to prove from LeBron. I think he's an angry guy. So I'm confidently on the Lakers -3.5.
A lot of people saying that they like the Anthony Davis points prop over. And Ray Charles 27 likes the over 8.5 rebounds at +102. Jim, do you have any books open? You can check a player prop for me?
Yes.
Yeah, just check if you can get a better line on the Davis rebound over prop.
All right, let's go right now. This isn't the best one. I'll probably bring up FanDuel too. But let me just quickly play a rebound on Davis.
Yeah, whatever you can get. I'm going to read some comments here. Carlos Luter's tailing Jimmy. Lakers -3.5.
I got 8.5 at -105 to the over.
Okay, I'm seeing a +100 at Pinnacle. I saw some 7.5s at -125, 130 kind of lines yesterday, but yeah. All right. I think I'm going to make that official, Jimmy the Bag.
All right, let's lock it in.
Anthony Davis rebounds over 8.5 +100. It's a current line at Pinnacle. Over 8.5 +100.
This is so much fun. These two games are going to be so much fun. And
this is not fun for me at all, Jimmy the Bag. I'm stressed as hell right now.
But there's no more fun sport to cap than NBA because we really get to know the players.
I'm so stressed I missed a good joke opportunity a few minutes ago, and I'm just mad at myself. What?
You'll find it. You'll find your spot here.
That particular joke opportunity will never come again, but that's all right. That's okay.
I enjoy capping NBA very much, and part of the reason is we have so many exceptional cappers in our chat. And
I'm so stressed, Jimmy the Bag.
I just love it. I love the opportunity to work with all these guys. Definitely check out our big 4 p.m. show, the daily show. It's the best in the business. So check it out. Run with it. Razor and Kev liking the Warriors +3.5. If you're betting the Warriors now +3.5, it's a mistake. When your colleagues get 5.5 and 5, you shouldn't be doing it. So if you really like the Warriors, hope that late Lakers money comes in and you can get at least a 4. That's my thought here. Okay, I love it. Beautiful evening of basketball.
Yeah.
Stan Lynch says
positivity, Jimmy the Bag. I love it.
Stan Lynch says hope LeBum goes down. I love old basketball players coming together. I love it.
Oh,
I'm excited to watch the Lakers this year. I've not been a fan of the Lakers. I don't know. I guess I'm just they're juggernauts. They win all the time and all that. And But this Lakers team, I feel a little different about, and I'm not going to go as far as say that I'll be cheering for them yet. But if they give me a nice win night one, I think I might jump on the wagon.
Yeah, I just feel like Anthony Davis is going to have a good game. I think he's kind of pissed about how things have gone against Draymond Green recently, and I agree with you and with everyone saying this is a positive spot for Davis. And
Stan Lynch saying woke, politically correct, phony, the bum. I love all the political statements and stuff he's doing, using his opportunity as a superstar to what I don't like is everything being about him. When he talks about the Lakers on my shoulders, all that shit. I hate that stuff. It's a team sport. Still be a team player. But I have no problem with him using his spot in the world to make important statements that he feels. I love it. I have no problem with that. I like him. But I hate him all about me, ride my shoulders, all that bullshit. So it's okay. There we have it. NBA. I'm on the Bucks money line. Lakers -3.5. Pistol Pete is on the first half under in Brooklyn, Milwaukee 118.5, and the team total under 117.5. And he's on the AD over 8.5 rebounds. All right, it is time to move on to NHL. Big Joe Bet says your boy killed the NFL this weekend. Big Joe, nice work. Please join us tonight, Tuesday night, for our NFL show. I need the guidance. I'm struggling. Are you ready to get into NHL, my friend?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, roll that shit, light that shit up, and smoke
it all on my shoulders, Jimmy the Bag, just like LeBron James. All right, so first off, Vancouver, Buffalo. Jimmy the Bag, we thought, a lot of people in the beginning of the season thought that Buffalo might be an historically bad team. I made Buffalo points total under, despite a very low total, despite the lowest total on the board. One of my official picks when we previewed the entire season. But they've won their first two games at home, which is, not necessarily indicative that things aren't as we expect from them because, they were favored against Arizona. Arizona is terrible. I wasn't necessarily expecting them to lose that game. In fact, I had them on that one. I got them at my -114, and I bet that one. I was going to text you about it. And the first game against Montreal, okay, first game of the season. But the question is, what is the condition of Buffalo long-term, and particularly tonight? And Vancouver, playing a fourth road game in a row. So they've had some okay results, and the question is just is Buffalo vulnerable here, and is Vancouver going to be able to rise to the occasion? And I was thinking maybe a shot with the under. Let me pick up let me find out the expected goalies here. But I was unless you have any reason to believe that Buffalo and Vancouver are more powerful offensively than we expect from them, I was thinking a shot with the under. What do you think, Jim?
I don't trust the way the Canucks play on the road.
Mm-hmm.
One of their losses this past week, they had 5 hits in that game. They just put their two tougher players on waivers, and they were picked up immediately. Generally speaking, Canucks that get put on waivers don't get picked up. So I think just more key roster mistakes by this hockey team. But the Coyotes are going to be historically bad, and I'm on the Buffalo Sabres under with you, and It's going to be fine. There was an article put out this yesterday saying, will the Sabres make the playoffs? This is absolutely asinine. Craig Anderson coming in strong. Look, I'm happy for Craig Anderson, the goalie for the Sabres, coming in strong. But they lose Casey Middlestad, who was supposed to be their first-line center. They lose Henry Jokiharju, who I think is going to be a defender, quality defender in the NHL. I mean, his still sample size is very small. But first off, my guy, where was it? Michael O'Brien. Michael O'Brien said, I came in some money, Jimmy. Should I tail all your guys' bets tonight? Are you feeling confident? I would only tail them if they correlate with the way you see the game going. Only do that. Only if you agree with it because you're like, that's the way I see it, then go ahead and take it in. But so here we go. Canucks. I like the fact that they've started the season on the road. I think it can help. It can also hurt if you lose the first 2 games like the Islanders have, and that the snowball can start weighing on you if you're a team that's supposed to have all the success. But this to me I thought was a spot for Vancouver, and I beat this market move at my book by 30 cents.
Wow, really? You took Vancouver and you beat that move?
Yeah, I beat it by 30 cents.
There you go. There's an expert right there. Kudos to you, Jimmy the Bag.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know if I beat all the moves. We'll go over them, but I got the money line. I got the -1 at +125. I got the money line at -135. It's now -165. I bet 365, and I just think, okay, look, Buffalo outplayed the Coyotes very badly. Great. And look, I don't trust the Canucks that much, and I don't want to bet them. But all this talk about the Sabres possibly being a good hockey team is absolutely ridiculous.
Right. Yes.
Craig Anderson getting hot. Brady says, my Cowboys Sabres win. This is a step up in class for them, so I'm staying off. I think you would lean over because Canucks could be too much too soon for the Sabres. Two really bad opponents so far for the Sabres. I agree with that. If Demko gets hot and the Canucks start playing a bit of a different game, I'll back them. But they're just not physical whatsoever, and I just don't trust them whatsoever. So
you don't like the under then?
No, I don't. I don't. Now, if the Sabres want to win hockey games, maybe they play the same style that the Ducks are playing right now. And Birdie's been talking a lot about the trap that the Ducks are using, and it's working for them. And maybe that's the way Buffalo has to do it with Granato as their coach. But
go into that a little bit for about 15 seconds, what that style is for the people who might not be familiar with what you're referring to, which includes me.
Well, there's different types of traps.
Right.
And they became famous really when the Devils went on their run there in the early 90s. It's a system where you have basically everybody back, simply put there.
That leads to higher scoring games, lower scoring games.
Much lower scoring games. Much lower scoring games. There's different traps. There's a high trap and a low trap. But basically what you're doing is you're trying to clog the neutral zone to get in to your zone. So right. You give up no odd man rushes, and you force the opponent to have to shoot the puck in and go after it. They can never really skate the puck into your zone. And when you don't skate the puck into your zone and you don't have odd man rushes, then it's all about your forecheck creating plays, and the scoring drops immensely.
And so why don't you like the under here?
Because I don't trust either of these two teams to be defensive hockey teams this year. I need to watch more of Buffalo because maybe that's the only way they can win. But I don't trust Craig Anderson in goal, and I don't trust the Canucks to be a defensive hockey team.
Okay. All right. Well, I would be leaning under. Are you going to make an official play on this one, Jim?
Oh, yeah. I tweeted it out. I tweeted out 7 picks already today. Canucks -1 +125.
Okay. You want to move on?
Yeah, are you just leaning to the under, or are you going to move on it?
I'll pass on it for now.
All right. And Birdie says the high trap, you have 5 guys basically in the neutral zone. And it just completely clogs everything up. And then when you don't put pressure on the other team with your own forecheck, then there's no way for their defense to be like a Chris Pronger type thing to give you that outlet pass that creates the odd man rush. So Real Deal Prime says early lead they hold. I'm just shocked. I love that the Sabres have won the first 2 games of the year. They lose Casey Middlestad, and they're still being bet and packed. By the way, Dan Kelly, NBA futures that I'm on, favorite. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, +250. He's won 3 of the last 4.
Jimmy, what about the Buffalo team total under?
I just don't trust the Canucks. They don't play with any physicality. They're so easy to play against right now. I just think that we have so much more skill than the Sabres at this point. But I don't trust the Canucks. I don't like this Canucks hockey team. I don't think they make the playoffs.
All right, let's go. Montreal and San Jose, right, Jimmy the Bag?
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to get some great analysis from Jimmy the Bag here, I think, right? I was kind of high on Montreal in some of their early games, but they just seem like they can't score. So the question is, what's up with their offense? That's what I was asking you about in the beginning of the show. Do you feel like you have a good read on teams that are maybe significantly worse or better than you initially expected, as opposed to maybe just having results that are due to a variance. And then kind of the same thing with San Jose. I was kind of down on them to start the year. So were you, but they do have, a bunch of energetic rookies who are getting playing time and so far getting results, and maybe that'll continue at least until they hit the wall. So my first look at this is obviously I would be liking Montreal unless you tell me that Montreal's offensive struggles are for real and stay away, or San Jose's production from their rookies is real and to stay away as well. What do you think? Jimmy the Bag.
Well, this is a controversial game, but first off, just for Michael O'Brien, when I say a -1, this is a bet that I learned from Pete, and we use the -1 calculator. So it's just here. Let me pop it in the chat for you. You use the -1 calculator to see the idea is that you bet enough on the money line to cover your bet, and then the rest of it you put on the puck line, so that if the team wins by just one goal, you push. So I'll pop that in the chat for you. Stan Lynch says Mike Hoffman will play for the Habs. He will be in the lineup for them. I've heard playing left wing, and they are having offensive troubles. And even though he may be a character question mark, I think that can help him. For me, so there's trends. And so Birdie's on the Sharks, and Birdie's a great capper. Mm-hmm. And the trends will tell you that the Sharks go into Montreal and they play very well. And my rebuttal to that was that for the last 10 years, the Sharks have been a better hockey team than the Habs. Maybe better hockey team is the wrong word, but more skill. And so the table is switched now. Montreal's way far superior skill-wise than these Sharks. And
okay, so then why can't they score more than one goal in a game, Jimmy the Bag?
It's 3 games into the season. I mean, I don't judge the team's offense with the first 3 games. I mean, look, they have a lot of pressure on them. I said right off the top that Suzuki and Cole Caulfield were going to have a terrible start. I mean, that's just what happens when a guy's supposed to win Rookie of the Year and the other kid gets a $9 million contract, right. $9 million per season. So I'm not surprised that first line's doing nothing offensively. I don't know how long that will last, but I do not think that Aiden Hill is the number 1 goalie. He's a 6'6" goaltender in the form of a Ben Bishop. This is a very angry, embarrassed Montreal team, getting him, pillared in the press, and so I like Montreal Canadiens here. I'm on the -1, and I can understand people thinking that they're overvalued. I think this is a great line. I got them on the -1 at +112, so I got the money line at -145. Right now, it's at -155, so I beat that by 10 cents. I'll take that, and I just think this is I put a line through any of the old stats. I think that this is a big game for Jake Allen, who's been good this year, and I think that the Habs take care of business.
How are they defensively?
Well, they lose their captain and the heart and soul of the team in Shea Weber, and that hurts. They don't have Joel Edmondson in the lineup. I mean, that hurts. They don't have Carey Price. I mean, look, the defense has taken a lot of shots, and so it's a defense that will improve as the season goes on, but it certainly doesn't start nearly as strong as it closed with.
All right, I'll make it an official play. Montreal, just take them on the money line, -151. I was liking this anyway, and based on what you've said, I will take it. Money line, -151, Montreal.
Heat, -151.
And thinking about San Jose team total under 2.5 at +110 as well.
Yeah, I get it. There's my guy, Seamus Ignoramus Piker in the house. Great to see you. No one's mentioned Bernie Kosar. You think San Jose had some life to them offensively, or not really? So these teams that have come through a year or 2 years of being terrible, when they start out the year successfully right now, like the Ducks and the Sharks and the Sabres, they have a good feeling in the dressing room for the first time in a long time, and it's real. They're excited to go to the rink. They're excited to get on the ice. They don't have that heaviness that's been on top of them for the last 2 years. So, I think what the Sharks and the Ducks and the Sabres are feeling is real, and it makes them dangerous. So, but I think this is an embarrassed, angry Canadian squad that wants to play very good hockey.
All right, I'm going to double up on it. I'm going to take San Jose full game team total under 2.5 plus 110. What do you think about that, Jimmy the Bag? Be honest.
Sharks team total under 2.5. I like it.
Plus 110.
Yeah, you're getting a plus line. I like it. I mean, the way the Habs are playing, I don't see them sneaking out of the zone early. I think this is a 3-1, 4-1 final if the Habs do win.
All right.
If the Sharks come out early, then the Habs are going to have to open it up. So.
All right. I'm feeling better about this card and this show than I was in the beginning of the show, Jimmy the Bag. Thank you very much, Jimmy the Bag, for holding things down. Hell yeah. Jimmy the Bag. Shout out to Jimmy the Bag.
Very kind. Very kind, Pete. Let's keep rolling.
All right. Next game will be Florida and Tampa Bay. Whoa, this is an interesting one, right? The line is about even, as you would expect. Two juggernauts here. Last year, the games tended to go over in Tampa Bay. Not surprising at all. They split the two games in Tampa Bay, which makes me think that maybe Florida has a little bit of value as a dog. I see this one as pretty straightforward. Small value with Florida as a dog, a little bit more value on the over, and probably the best play might be Florida full game team total over, even at 2.5 at minus 150 or so. Maybe a small shot with the first period over, and maybe the full game over as well. Best play though, probably Florida team total over 2.5 at like minus 150. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think?
I love this spot for the Lightning. I love it. Nikita
Really?
Kucherov out for week to week. I could need surgery. Kucherov could be out for 2 months. Spencer Knight coming in with his first game for the Panthers when Bobrovsky's got off to a good start. So there's pressure.
Can I answer one question?
Sure.
This is for anyone. Jose Bouquet says, Pete, introducing games. What bizarre world am I living in? Jose, it's just you want the dumb guy to introduce the games, and then the smart guy or the smartest guy you got to play the role of the expert. So I asked Jim, I was like, listen, when it comes to NHL, I'm the dumb guy. You're the smart guy. Let me be the host, and you be the expert. He was like, fine. So that's what we're doing. Right, Jim?
Yeah, and I'm totally cool with it. And right now, we've got the season off to a fine start. 7-6. Average line at plus 115. We'll have a plus money average line all year.
There
We're
you
up
go.
1.95 units, ROI plus 15%. And that's without betting the Blues last night against Coyotes because I was angry I missed the market move on Sunday.
Cindy plays horses, likes Tampa Bay, and you are too, Jim. Why?
I think now, look, these things can blow up in your face, but I love this spot for the Lightning. I love backing a team in their first game without their star. I love backing a team when they're going up against the Panthers who want that mantle. They want to be the winner of the Atlantic, and they could easily be the winner of this division. And I've got them to win this division. I think there's a ton of pressure on Spencer Knight here to have a good game, a ton of pressure. And there was going to be pressure on him anyways. If Bobrovsky had a shit start, there'd be pressure on Spencer Knight. So I'm sure that Spencer Knight, my pleasure, I heavy, and that was brought to us from by the man Ron Crawford. So it's all just another example of us all working together to beat the Tues. So I think Vasilevsky steps up. He hasn't been that good this year. I think the Lightning step up without Kucherov. They know that the Panthers are coming for their mantle. And I believe that the Panthers are the most dangerous team to the Lightning in that division, not the Leafs, not the Bruins. So I think Tampa Bay steps up, and I love the price I got. I not only bet it a few hours ago. I love minus 115. It's down to minus 112. There's been a 38-cent move since opening because I believe that's all the Kucherov stuff. Over to the cash flow in this game here. And I really don't, and I'm not going to care very much about cash flow in hockey. I'm just not. I'm just going to trust myself rather than the market. But 66% of the tickets are on Florida, 71% of the cash. Great. 55% of tickets are on the under, 55% of cash on the under. And as I said, this money line moved from minus 150 to minus 112. And from a total standpoint here, we have it's at 6. It was minus 118 to the over. It's now minus 114 to the over. So possible that Tampa Bay kind of shuts things down and plays a little stronger defensively. Ricky Levine says Tampa Bay 15-6 against off of 2 days or more rest. And Dennis says no wonder you do better in hockey.
So you don't necessarily like the over here either.
No, I think this is a hugely important game to Tampa, personally. And we know it's a big game to Florida. Brady says another head-to-head. I'm on Florida. They are the better team. They're the Hunters. They outshot Tampa Bay 52-27 last preseason with full rosters. I have to bet Panthers here. Cooch is always out. My perspective is that, and I know that Brady does run with these perspectives that I'm using as well, but I just see this team really stepping up with Kucherov out here and knowing that the Panthers are coming for them. So the Panthers are a very dangerous hockey team, and it's time for these Lightning to step up without Kucherov. And that's my thinking.
Yeah, it makes sense. That does make sense with the spot because Florida, at home, 2 nice wins over 2 quality teams. Now they go on the road. Tampa Bay loses their first game embarrassingly. Next game they go against a crappy team and almost lose there. And now they're going up against, the in-state rival, the rival. It does feel like a big, big mental spot positively for Tampa Bay. You're right.
If Spencer Knight steps up and shuts this team down, and he surely is the goalie of the future, and he still probably is the goalie of the future. Definitely is, maybe. But this is a big ask, and I like backing the team missing their star in game 1.
Yeah. All right, I'll hold off at Jimmy the Bag, but you're on Tampa Bay, right?
Tampa Bay minus 115 is my official pick.
Wow, Jimmy the Bag. Hell yeah. Now I'm enjoying things a little bit more. A lot, I would say. All right, Seattle and New Jersey. Okay. Jimmy the Bag. In the beginning of the year, I told you I was quite high on New Jersey. Not saying that was correct. I'm just saying that that's how I felt. And based on what you said back to me, it didn't put me off of it as it did with some of my other preseason opinions. They won their first game. I was on that one for sure against Chicago. I also told you I was kind of high on Seattle as well. And they have played pretty well, except for the last game, which was a dud. That's okay. Fourth road game in a row. Now it's a back-to-back though, and a lot of times, when you have an embarrassing game and then a play again the next day, a lot of teams I see this a lot. They tend to do better the next day and especially early. But I'm thinking that New Jersey is probably the play here, and that's what I'm probably going to make the play on, unless you tell me to hold off on that. What do you think? New Jersey at, let's see, where are we? What are we looking at here? Yes, 146. That's a healthy number there. I don't know about that. I was hoping, maybe 125. I'd feel a lot better about it. What do you think, Jim? Or the Seattle team total under?
When I was capping the Kraken Flyers game yesterday, I was like, how are the Kraken bending and not breaking? They're on the road. They started the season out with COVID. There's all this pressure as the whole city of Seattle is watching them so closely, and how are they not bending and not fully breaking? And it was my disgust for the Flyers that had me that I didn't take the Flyers last night. I should have just taken them. And now you can't. Now that they get embarrassed 6-1, I can't take the Devils. I can't take the Devils after this terrible game, and now Drieger gets an opportunity to see if he can be the man, which is something he wants so badly. Look, I want to fade Seattle, and it was poor capping for me. I want to find. There's all this love for Seattle right now, and I was like, you're going to find a time to smash, to fade Seattle and smash them, and I missed it last night. And so there's a lot of reasons. So Slatsy says Devils best bet in regulation plus 105 and money line minus 140. Kraken playing 5th game in 7 days on the road and back-to-back. End of road trip and season opener at home on deck. Brady says Kraken seem to have run out of gas. I think you could, if you wanted to bet Devils minus 1.5 or minus 2.5. They have to be gassed, and they looked like it last night. They had a bunch of fights last night too. I just after losing 6-1, we're going to see the character of this hockey team, and I wish that they beat Philly or it was a closer game. But them getting embarrassed, I have to see the character of this team, and I'm very interested to see the character of this team, and I just can't take the Devils because of that 6-1 loss yesterday.
Poker Addicted 79 posting some hilarious stuff in the comments section. Yeah. So you think that it's if Seattle was a team that I was down on, I wouldn't mind, fading them here at a big line. But I also, I'm kind of high on them. I think that they have 2 very high quality goaltenders. I'm thinking about maybe Seattle team total under. I don't know. So you like Seattle here, Jim?
No, I can't bet Seattle. But just because they got embarrassed, I can't fade them. I just can't. They got embarrassed. They know this is their last game before heading home. You could see them die in the second or third periods here.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly Devils are no bet, but it's going to be no bet for me. I'm just too. I can't back a team after they lose 6-1, and I will almost never do it.
What about Seattle first period plus 124, and then New Jersey full game minus 146? Hard to see New Jersey coming out strong and then Seattle closing well.
Exactly. Yeah, I get that. I absolutely get that. Now I have a ton of action tonight, so I don't need to. But that storyline to me fits the bill.
All right. I don't know what. Yeah, there you go. Stan Lynch likes Devils -1. Real Deal Prime says stay off.
Well, you got time. We can do one last.
All right. Okay. Overview. We'll go revisit it maybe later. I want to take the Devils so bad, just because I'm kind of wanting to take them almost every game until and unless the market catches up, but they're getting a lot of respect here. All right, let's move on. Another very fascinating and interesting game, Dallas and Pittsburgh. Now, for people who didn't catch our first show, Jimmy the Bag absolutely freaking nailed the Pittsburgh game against Tampa Bay to open the season, despite the fact that Crosby and Malkin were out. They have some other guys who are out as well. A lot of commenters in the comments section were saying, I hear what you're saying, Jimmy, but there's just too many guys who are out for Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh has played well. They're kind of doing it by committee, right, Jimmy the Bag, which you do see a lot in all sports. You know, no flashy names, no big stars, but kind of a by committee effort, all professional athletes getting it done. And then Dallas also, I mentioned in the in our team by team preview that I was kind of low on Dallas. I was thinking about taking their season long team total points under. They have, to my eye, a lot of, they have kind of an old roster, and I was thinking maybe it would be an overvalued year for Dallas. Jimmy gave the exact opposite opinion, saying he likes Dallas this year, or I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's positive on them, likes to loves Dallas this year. So far, though, they've all been road games, a little bit underwhelming, not a lot of scoring. Lost 2 out of 3. That's okay. They've played some tough competition. And here we go. We've got, what's the line here? We've got, the Penguins as a small favorite. And I was thinking, what was I thinking? What was I thinking about this one when I looked at this one? Hold on one second. Yeah, I guess I was thinking maybe Dallas team total over 2.5 at a very modest line. Question is, why have they not scored so far this year? Jimmy the Bag, take it away.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Rupi Hintz has done very little. Not having his Jason Robertson in the lineup has hurt. Klingberg and Robertson didn't even make the trip with the Stars, this opening road trip. For me, the capping of this game goes like this. Pittsburgh has had these hugely emotional hockey games, and they've risen to the occasion of being spectacular. They watch Tampa put the banner up and beat them 6-2, I think was the final score, right, with the empty net. Yeah. Then they play Florida the next night, and Florida jumps out to a 2-0 lead, and they battle back and take the game to overtime when they lose. They come home, they play Chicago Blackhawks with Marc-Andre Fleury. They're the guy who's going to have his jersey retired by the franchise, and they score 4 goals on Marc-Andre Fleury in the first 11 minutes. Like they're continually blowing our imagination of they're exceeding what our expectations, and they're doing it without Crosby and Malkin. I was holding out hope that Crosby was going to come in tonight, and that's why I waited until I guess like 2 hours ago to bet this. But Brian Rust is now not in the lineup, and he's such an important power forward. Look, Pittsburgh does this, and I get to the situation where I'm like, how can they keep doing it? How can they possibly keep doing it after these emotional wins and stepping up in the face of adversity? And they keep doing it, and it costs me money. And again, here I am, and maybe this is just stupidity, but I'm going to fade them here. I'm taking the Stars plus 110. The Stars would like to get back to 500 early in the year before they head home. And how are the Pens still doing this? They're coached very well, and Sully just had, this is a tight ship, and Letang's playing much better than I expected him to play, and I just can't how do they keep doing this? I'm not. This may be just asking for this. Might be optional misery, and I'm asking for misery. I'm taking the Dallas Stars plus 110, and I also think that Dallas Stars are playing these tight road games. Because Dallas Stars could win this game and not go over the 2.5 kind of thing. Not that that's a likely outcome, but that is a thought for me. So I'm on the Dallas Stars here. Nobody's nervous says no. Dallas got beaten by the Sens. That was a game. Birdie was all over the Sens. When teams go into Ottawa and they have to go, and it's just a 1-game series in Canada, and they have to go do all the COVID stuff and then go play this, poor hockey team in, not even in Ottawa, like outside of the city. Like it's a tricky game. It's a tricky game. Birdie says I'm on the Stars as well. If you're talking about a team that needs to win, this is the one. The Stars. Yeah, Real Deal Prime says Holtby's on my fantasy team. Go Stars. Don't tell me I didn't have Holtby playing. Is Holtby playing here? Oh, please don't tell me that's happening.
What? The expected.
Oh, no.
I don't have confirmed. Why?
Oh, he's just trash.
Let me see. Yeah, so that changes everything then.
Well, it's nothing I can do about that shit. I bet it. Fuck. Damn it.
Expected, not confirmed. But yeah, and I mean, it's. I mean, look, Seguin and Jamie Benn are just not doing it, and you think that's going to change? You expect that to change?
Not at all. I don't. They could be third line wingers, and this team could roll. We don't need Jamie Benn Seguin to do anything. It's Rupi Hintz has got to start rolling. It's Radulov. It's those guys. Ben and Seguin. I don't need them. I don't expect either player to score 50 points this year. So I don't. They'll be the third line for me. Big Boss in the house. Big Boss, your looks on that Friday card were spectacular. I mean, I just went 2-0 on them. I didn't bet more. If I wish I had to bet more, your looks on NCAA were so spot on Friday. Excellent work. I'm very, very uncomfortable. This Penguins team doesn't have a lot of firepower, but if I had known that Holtby was in, I would not have bet it.
Yeah, and now we got a total of 5.5. Yeah. What do you think about an over, maybe?
I just don't see the Stars playing that type of hockey right now. They're playing this very tight, conservative road game. So, Slatsy says 160 players in our points player pool, and Jamie Benn wasn't touched. Wasn't picked.
Hope he's that awful, huh?
Yeah, to me. But Birdie says this Holtby hatred is misguided, in my opinion. He's just, look at his numbers. Birdie, you think this is misguided? Let's just pull up his numbers here. Why don't we just let the numbers do the talking? Let's go here. I'm going to pull them up right now. But yeah, so are you going to make a move here, Pete? I need a second before I bring up these numbers.
Yeah. I'm an inch away from taking maybe Dallas first period plus 110, or maybe the Pittsburgh first period team total under at plus 141. I'm thrown a little bit by I'm thrown a little bit by your extreme Holtby reaction.
Oh, it's just.
You had a borderline meltdown when you heard that name.
Well, he looked good in that first game against the Bruins, but let's just see what he did last year in Vancouver. I guess 889 save percentage. The year before, he had an 897 save percentage. How does he have a job in the NHL?
Yeah,
you don't give a save percentage after one game. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take. I'll take a shot here. It makes me nervous, but I'll go with you. I'm gonna take Dallas first period at plus 110. I'll take it. I'll make that official. Dallas first period money line plus 110.
Okay.
And hopefully they come out with some fire. I don't really trust this Dallas team, but you do. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna take Dallas first period plus 110. I know Pittsburgh exploded out in the first period of their last game. We'll see. I feel okay about it, though.
I hear you. I like it. And Birdie says that Vancouver team was not good. What about the 2019-2020 Washington Capitals? Were they a good team? So you had a save percentage under 900 for that team. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Move on.
Okay, move on. That's okay. We're having fun in this show. All right, Colorado against Washington. Here we go. Another one that let me pull up my notes on this one that I was thinking about. Washington, I expect them to maybe, they have they're a little long in the tooth, so I expect them to maybe fade a little bit in the middle of the season and the dog days of the season. But obviously, a lot of talent. Alex Ovechkin, absolute torrid start to the beginning of the year, and Colorado a little shaky right now. A low line for Washington. So I was thinking, my notes here are be careful, but maybe kind of really liking Washington at anything around minus 120. I know that I think that McKinnon is playing, right?
He got on the plane, so he's
right.
As soon as he got so I expect him to be in the lineup, but he's going to be tired.
I'm thinking Washington is the play here. What do you think? Whoa, it's plus 1. Is that because of McKinnon playing? Wow.
Yes, there's been a big move because McKinnon's playing, and I wish I had have waited here. I wish I had have waited. I'm on the Capitals as well, but I feel like an ass for.
No, you couldn't know. You thought it was a good bet at the time.
I think that. Well, look, for me, Devin Taves is also possibly going to be in the lineup for the Avs. I don't think that Nathan McKinnon is going to help in the dressing room. He's going to help. He's going to help in every facet of the game, and I wish I could have got plus money. Slatsy says Landeskog's still out for suspension. Landeskog has one more game left on the suspension. To me, it looks like Vitek Vanacek is going to be the number one goalie, or at least getting every opportunity to be a number one goalie, and maybe he is a very special goaltender. And at plus money, what an excellent bet. Like, I would have loved to have not been so pushy here. I just felt – I watched that Avs game against the Blues. I was on the Blues, and it was a great call by Bednar. It was 4-1. There were 6 minutes left, and they got a power play, and then Bednar pulled the goalie with 5.5, 6 minutes left. It was a brilliant play, and they end up with 20 seconds left, they tied up at 4. But they scored 2 goals there in a minute and a half. So they scored the goal. The power play finished, and then they pulled the goalie again. But throughout that game, with Kadri as their first-line centerman, they did not look good. And I thought this was a great bet, Washington. I got them on the -1 line at plus 127, but I got absolutely destroyed by this. I didn't get the -115. I got -125. I'm sitting here looking like a complete ass in this game.
Well,
oh shit, Samsonov is confirmed. Damn.
Yeah.
Changes here.
Yeah, Samsonov's confirmed. Is that even worse?
Well, he was expected to be the number one guy, and now he's watching Vitek Vanacek look excellent. So he's got to step up here. It's a very, very important game for him, and yeah, he's confirmed.
I don't think that's necessarily terrible, is it?
No, but I would have preferred Vanacek. But no, not terrible. I look at Washington at plus money right now. I think is a great bet. I wish I had it.
Yeah, and you think that McKinnon being – let's look at the comment section. You think McKinnon will be limited a bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big ask. He's going to fly in from Colorado this morning, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I believe. But someone else can confirm that. If he got in last night, that will help him a lot. But if he got in last night, we'd know about it. So.
And Mark Schillenberg, who also nailed the Pittsburgh Tampa Bay game, opening game, says Kemper better than Samsonov.
I don't think so. But Samsonov was terrible last year. He had COVID, and then they went out party, broke the COVID protocols, and he had a bad season. But this guy is supposed to be the answer for this team. Now he's watching Vitek Vanacek take the job. So this is a huge game for Samsonov. I'd much prefer Vanacek in the lineup, but I would take if I was running a hockey team, I would take Samsonov over Kemper any day of the week, every day of the week, personally.
Real Deal Prime says Colorado are the Tampa Bay Rays of hockey. Would you agree with that, Jimmy the Bag? When I hear that, that means unless you have a strong reason to not bet them, be leaning to betting on them every game.
They're a very good hockey team, but they're a very good hockey team with Landeskog and McKinnon in the lineup. And Landeskog is a big piece of the puzzle because he gives them size and toughness and leadership. And so not having him is hurts them. And having McKinnon, depending on when he flew in, is look, the Avalanche are a really good hockey team. But if I could get plus money on the Capitals at home here, I would take it.
I'm going to take Washington as an official play, minus 109. First period, Washington money line, minus 109.
Okay. Caps, first period.
Okay, should we move on?
Let's do it.
All right, next game, another interesting one. Columbus and Detroit. Let me move my thing. Now, obviously, the situation here is that, Columbus played 2 home games. First one, super emotional, big favorite, and they blew out a terrible team, Arizona. Second game, they got a close win over Seattle, but it was just an emotional situation at home for them, of course, because of the unexpected death of their goalie. Now they go on the road. And that that mentality is not going to be there. And Detroit, in general, kind of an uninspiring team. But in spots, I'm definitely willing to bet on them. I did bet on them against Vancouver. They had that game, of course, against Tampa Bay, where they were winning the whole time, and then Tampa Bay furiously rallied back late. But Detroit is not a team that I feel afraid to bet on if the spot looks good. And I think this is another one of them. Detroit as a very small home favorite. I'll take it. What do you think? And the full game team total over, maybe. What do you think?
I don't know what to make of either of these teams right now. And I don't know whom to trust. I think Blashill is a great coach for the Red Wings. And, he's a Michigan guy. He's a perfect coach for this hockey team. And Dylan Larkin returns after serving the 1-game suspension. They still don't have Vrana. Nedeljkovic did not look good in his first game. I expect him to be better here. Rem says Korpisalo is confirmed, so no Merzlikins. And Merzlikins has started the year so strong. So I think that's probably hurts Columbus a little bit. I guess knowing that Korpisalo is confirmed and that looks like Greiss has won the job over Nedeljkovic. Everything about Nedeljkovic to me is just nuts. And there has to be a reason why the Hurricanes, who were trying to get to the next level, didn't want him as their starting goaltender, traded him for a 3rd-round pick, and now he's not even starting over Greiss. So I guess, Columbus seems to be carrying right now. They lose Domi. I don't know how big of a deal that is, but they lose Domi. I don't trust really either of these teams, and I don't know if I want to have anything to do with either of them. I guess, why don't we just take a look at the market here for the Wings? I mean, Bertuzzi's got off to a great start. You get Larkin back. Winning that game over Vancouver without Larkin was very impressive. They opened up at minus 126. They're now minus 119, so a 7-cent move towards Columbus. And then we have 52% of tickets and 86% of cash on Detroit and move to Columbus. I need more to learn about these two teams, and I can't help, but I do think that Korpisalo might be a little vulnerable, and Greiss seems to be confident. But the market moving towards Columbus, I think from just a skill factor, offensive skill, you have to say, well, Columbus has much more of that than Detroit, and that's a fair statement. But Detroit's playing hard at home, and Blashill always has them ready to go, and I'm not comfortable with any move here.
What would you think about Detroit full game team total over 2.5? Because I'm not just on the edge of making that an official pick. I'm on the edge of making that a freaking birthday pick for Birdie. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag?
Wow, very impressive. Cuban Connect in the house. Rodney Barton, thank you for joining us. I find this a very difficult game, but the Red Wings offense has looked very good so far this year, and it didn't look as good without Larkin, but Larkin will be back here. And
no, Real Deal Prime says no faith in Detroit. Fade him tonight. No faith? Is that too strong, Jimmy the Bag? Or maybe roughly warranted?
I find these two teams full of question marks, and I can't find an angle that I can support here. I did not trust the Lightning at all after their loss to the Penguins. It just didn't seem to me like a team that was like, oh, we need to win right away. I mean, they don't care about the beginning of the season. That's part of the reason why I took the Panthers to win the cup, to win the division. But the Panthers playing Tampa Bay, that's a different story. Now it's important. Now this means something. That's the team going for their mantle. But here with the Wings, I don't know what to take from their two games. They look good against the Canucks, who I don't trust. They almost beat the Lightning and probably should have beaten the Lightning. And
Jimmy the Bag, I have 2 comments here. Let me hear your opinions. First of all, Top Shelf plays Blue Jackets a lock with like 6 Ks. And then Mark Schillenberg, who obviously has proven he knows his shit, says, love Columbus today. Elvis looks good right now.
Well, yeah, Elvis looks great, but he's not playing. It's Korpisalo. So, yeah, I think Merzlikins looks like he looks like, with the depth of his friend, he looks really locked in.
So do you think Mark Schillenberg would still love? I have a feeling Mark Schillenberg would still maybe like Columbus a lot with Korpisalo in.
I find them in 2 short years they become a very easy team to play against. They've gone from a team that was capable of sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning to a team of soft forwards that are supposed to score.
All right. I'll take Detroit full game team total over minus 245.
Whoa.
Minus 145.
Okay.
Full game team total over 2.5 minus 145 as an official play, and I'll make it the birthday pick for Birdie. It's Birdie's birthday, right?
It is, and Dutchies.
Okay, and Dutchies. All right. That's the birthday pick. You think? I mean, I just think that yes, I trust Detroit enough right now. No,
I don't know. I have not seen enough. I can't support it confidently right now. But I don't like the Blue Jackets defensively, and Juan Juarez likes it. That helps. I like Juan.
Well, there you go. Full game team total over 2.5 minus 145 official play, and it's the birthday pick. All right, you want to move on, Jim?
Let's do it.
All right, next game. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, the Islanders against the Blackhawks. The Islanders against the Blackhawks, 2 teams who have not won yet, although the Islanders, those are tough assignments, right? Opening against Carolina, which I had as an official play, and then maybe I texted it to you, Jimmy. I got to remember, but I was definitely on Carolina in that one. And then they lost on the road against Florida, give them a mulligan for that. And Chicago, all road losses, also tough assignments, though. Lost all of them. And so both of these teams itching for a win. Jimmy the Bag, you are extremely high on the Islanders this year. Last I checked with you, as a bunch of other people I respect are as well. The analytics don't like the Islanders that much, but the analytics have never liked the Islanders that much, and they repeatedly, year in and year out, outperform their projections. Based on analytics, the Islanders are just a small favorite here, so maybe this is an easy spot to take a great team at a very low line. What do you think, Jim?
I think that Matt Martin returning to the lineup with an ankle injury is a big deal. It puts that fourth line together, that tough fourth line that they like to start every period with. From a styles make bites situation, I think this is the perfect team for the Islanders to play against, small forwards, where they can dictate the pace. I'm on the Islanders, and I hate that the Blackhawks have started the year so poorly. I'd much prefer them to have started the year well, because the Blackhawks need to win here too. Both teams need to win badly, but I think the Islanders really need to win. And they're, away from all the noise. It's just them on this 13-game road trip. And if they don't win here, if they go 0-3 with 10 more road games, I mean, what's going to happen? And remember, with my future bets, I only put half of what I planned on betting on my futures for the Islanders, because I was like, what happens if after their 13-game road trip, because they're building their new arena, it's not quite finished yet, after their 13-game road trip, what if we're sitting here and they're 5-9? So I think that the Islanders have a size advantage against these smaller Blackhawk forwards, and Marc-Andre Fleury getting lit up by the Penguins must have hurt him. So from a spot situation, I'm nervous about fading the Blackhawks here, but I am doing it. So I'm backing the Islanders. I think they're a better hockey team, and I think they need to win. And I don't know what Fleury's going to give you, but Fleury could be lights out.
Yeah, so, that's what I was going to ask you. What the hell's up with him, Jimmy the Bag? This is what we need to know. Is he going to continue to give up 4 goals a game?
Oh, no, or he's going to. What? He's going to get his act together. I mean, he's an old veteran, but But this defense has changed so drastically in the past year with their roster, and they'll get better as it goes on. I hate North Ender says the same thing scaring me off the Isles here. The Hawks have looked so bad. Yeah, that's a problem. In fact, I guess it's just my belief in the Islanders is overshadowing everything. But I hate this spot against the Blackhawks team that needs to win, and these teams in their home openers have been so good so far. So I'm quite nervous. Cindy says Trotz will have these guys buzzing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Islanders, and I felt like I just had to back them here in a spot where I think this is a perfect team for them to play against.
Perfect team because
they're small. They're small, and the Islanders are big. They're big, and the Islanders defensemen don't pinch. They stay back, and the Blackhawks are a team that utilizes the odd man rushes. So if the Islanders don't take penalties and know that these big Islanders defensemen are going to sit back and park the bus, I just think this kind of sets itself up for the Islanders beating the Blackhawks.
Or maybe even more so, it sets itself up for an under and a first period under. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a ton on the line. There's a ton on the line for both of these squads, which means that it's not going to be this freewheeling open game. What is the line that you're getting?
5.5 at plus money, or you can buy to 6 at the usual, 130 kind of deal. First period is just plus 106, but I think I'm going to take that, Jimmy the Bag, because I am basing it on what I'm listening to you saying, Jimmy the Bag, and I have proven my talent at listening to you talk about hockey in the past. So I'm going to take this one. First period under 1.5 plus 106. I'm going to take that one. What do you think?
I think it's I still have a vividness bias of these Blackhawks scoring a lot. First period under 1.5 at what, plus 106?
Plus 106, yeah.
So I took the over in the Blackhawks Devils game, and I should not have cashed that. It was the Blackhawks are just so the Blackhawks did the same thing that the Avalanche did when Colorado was playing St. Louis. The Blackhawks pulled their goalie with 6 minutes left in the game, and they're so dangerous, with Patty Kane and Kubalik. So that game should have gone under. It's just late. So if the Islanders are up 3-1 or 4-1, the Blackhawks are going to pull their goalie, early, and they're so dangerous with the goalie pulled. It feels like if you want this, if the under is going to cash for you, it's going to be like 1-1, or it's going to be a very tight game. So I don't know what to make of these Blackhawks, because I still have this issue of seeing them last year being such a high-scoring team, and that was when their defense was so atrocious, with Duncan Keith playing 25 minutes a game and having the worst Corsi numbers in the league. So,
wow, Top Shelf Plays says Fleury is bad with 4 Ds. He says, did you see him Did you look at Fleury last game? So Top Shelf Plays, I'm assuming, is not expecting a turnaround from Fleury anytime soon, if ever.
Well, I think it's a mistake to judge a Hall of Famer off of 10 minutes in one of the most emotional games that he plays. So, I don't care. Fleury has proven who he is and what he is. If you look at his numbers last year, they were excellent. Now, the Golden Knights still let him go. So
yeah. And Mark Schillenberg addresses that. He says Fleury's not bad. He has no D in front of him. He was playing behind a stout Las Vegas D. He went from that to this shit Chicago D. You agree with all that, Jimmy the Bag?
No, this Chicago D should be much better than last year. It's just there's moving parts, and it's going to take them time. So I think that judging Fleury by what we've seen so far this year is, in my estimation, a mistake. And look, Top Shelf Plays, good capper. Like, trust yourself. You roll with your Top Shelf. You go get paid, and you do what is necessary to get paid. And don't let me. Obviously, I'm not going to talk him off anything. You have to have your feelings, and the stronger feelings you have, I think, the better. And if he wants to fade Marc-Andre Fleury, there's no reason for him not to. You know,
well, he does say he says Top Shelf Play says Dallas is really bad. So that's one opinion we know he has that's wrong, right, Jim? Right, Jim?
Oh no, I'm not the judge and the jury. Yes, I think that the Dallas Stars, will get 100 points and they'll run through the Western Conference, depending on who they play in that first round, because they'll have to beat either the Blues or a team like that, because it'll be Avalanche Dallas 1-2. I think Dallas is a very, very good hockey team, and without Klingberg and Robinson right now on this road trip, I mean, look, they should have beat Boston. They could have beat Boston, so in Boston, which is such a hard thing to do. So,
all right. Well, I have made it official. Jimmy the Bag, Chicago first period. Chicago under 1.5 plus 106.
I think this under makes a lot of sense.
First period.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would move towards a full game. The only risk is what I said before, is them being down. But I think the Islanders are going to play such a tight game without allowing any. I think that you were right about this under, and I'm going to get a plus line on it. Is that right? Let me just see what Bet365 is offering. Maybe I should just focus on the first period, but I'm not. I'm gonna tail this. I'm gonna move, and this is me. And look, Top Shelf could be absolutely right. He's an excellent capper, and he could be absolutely right. But I do think Marc-Andre Fleury will bounce back, and I think the Islanders are going to play very tight, conservative game, perfect road game. So I'm going to move on this under 5.5 full game with an expectation that that the Islanders are just going to sort of park the bus. So I'm going to. That's my first edition on this card, is the under 5.5 and Islanders Blackhawks.
And I'm going to also add Chicago first period, no score. That's at plus 132. So Chicago first period, team total under 0.5, plus 132. No goal first period for Chicago, plus 132. I'm adding that official, Jim.
I like it. Also, 55% of tickets are on the under. 73% of cash is on the under. Birdie says they have to, right? They're getting steamrolled. The only way to bring it back is to play better team defense, and the under makes sense. Okay, so you're adding Blackhawks no.
No goal first period plus 132, or team total under 0.5 first period plus 132. However you want to describe.
0.5 first period. Okay, and what was the number with that plus 132?
Plus 132. Yeah, that's a pinnacle line.
Under 0.5 at plus 1. Okay, let's roll.
All right, let's move on. Next one. Let's see. God, all these games this would be horrible if we weren't talking to Jimmy the Bag and this freaking awesome comment section about NHL. These guys, I'm sure this is one of the better NHL shows around, if not the best. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the best, but definitely one of the better ones. LA and Nashville. Nashville, I think I was on, I was on the Nashville team total over 2.5 in their game against Seattle, but they did wind up losing that one. Nashville has lost their first 2 home games, and then the LA Kings, 2 home games. They beat Vegas, lost to Minnesota. Now they go on the road, and I was thinking maybe Nashville and maybe a little bit better of the Nashville team total over. I know that Arvidsson is coming back to the Kings, so maybe that's coming back to the to Nashville where he played for so long. So maybe that'll have some motivation for him for LA. So maybe I would like the Nashville team total over a little bit more. But I don't know. I feel like Nashville is an exceedingly mediocre team that nevertheless is going to be a good bet in spots, and I'm leaning team total over here for them at 2.5. What do you think, Jim?
First off, I think Nashville is a bad hockey team. And
okay.
I think at about the 45-50 game mark, they sell everything they can and try to get a lottery pick.
Sure.
But there are huge bets that have come in on Nashville. And my plan was to take the Kings, but I couldn't do it. There's 2,131 tickets in. And on the money line, 54% of the tickets are on Nashville and 91% of the cash. So that's come down from 98 earlier. But I had to stop myself here because early in the year, these teams that are going to be bad still have hope. And Bridgestone Arena is going to be rocking, as it always is. And Arvidsson coming back, it's an emotional game. The fact that there are these huge bets put on the Predators has me, having to stay off because I don't want Nashville under any circumstances. But they played the Hurricanes pretty tough.
Yeah.
And the Hurricanes are a good team. So
yeah.
Birdie says Preds play best on the road. At home, they are hard to back, and I don't know why that is. Should be the opposite. North Ender likes the Kings here. If I wasn't looking at the market, I would already be on the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing those big bets on Nashville and knowing how many opportunities are on the board will keep me off. I think that we want to back the Kings against good hockey teams all year. We want to back, and as long as Doughty's playing the way he's playing so well right now. So the Kings have hope, and we want to back them at home against the best teams in the league and get, even money or somewhere in that realm. But on the road, first game in Nashville, I've got to watch them. I've got to watch them how they play here, and I was impressed with Nashville's game against the Hurricanes, and at this point the money line on the Preds. Here very quickly, the money line on the Preds, I'm imagining has moved a lot because there's just so many huge bets on them.
Yeah, I'm seeing 140 or
wow,
so.
There's actually been a 13-cent move to the Kings on Pinnacle. Wow, I would love to back the Kings here. And last year in the years previous I'd already be on the Kings, and I would never looked at what the market is. So,
but what's your take on Saros? I mean, last year he was one of the best goalies in the league. What's your expectations from him on Nashville this year?
I think these are two good goalies, Calvin Peters and UC Saros. So I expect them to play well, and I expect Nashville. It's tough when you have guys like Duchesne and Ryan Johansson, and then you have a bunch of young kids in Glass and Cousins that you're expecting. You want to play a tight defensive style game, but you don't really have the players to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So Birdie says my cap says Preds have not bet yet. For me, it's Preds or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This game is just easy stay off for me. If this was a 2 or 3 game card, maybe I take the Kings and want to back that, but I cannot. With the Sharps moving on Nashville and the Kings, historically not being a good road team, I don't want anything to do with it. So I'm off the spot.
What about Kings team total over then? I mean, Saros, at first I was, nervous about betting against him, but maybe it's a different situation this year.
Nashville played really nice defensively against the Hurricanes.
And they still gave up 3.
Yeah, they did. But one was an empty netter. So it was 1-1 with 5 minutes left in the game, Pete.
Yeah.
There was a late goal. It was a beauty. So I thought they played very well, and the Hurricanes.
Wait, was it an empty netter, the third one?
Yes, the score was 1-1. I watched the game. The score was 1-1. The Hurricanes scored with 5 minutes to go to make it 2-1. Then the Hurricanes scored an empty netter to make it 3-1. The Predators kept the goalie net empty and made it 3-2. So,
okay.
But yes, the third goal was an empty netter. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. So, and I had the Hurricanes minus 115, which is something I wouldn't have done in the past. I would have had them on the -1 or the puck line. So it worked out for me in that game. But I did think Nashville played well. And
all right.
I'm off the game.
All right. This is why we do it. I am off it as well. All right. Next one, Winnipeg and Minnesota. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. Winnipeg, you were kind of high on them, I believe, Jimmy the Bag, unless I'm misremembering. Obviously, yeah. Hellebuck is, they rely so much on Hellebuck, and on the road gave up 4 goals each in their first 2 games, one of them against Anaheim. On the road again, but it's San Jose. These are not offensive juggernauts where you maybe just automatically give them a pass or a mulligan. And Minnesota, a lot of people high on Minnesota this year. 2 very nice, low-scoring road wins to start the year. And let me see, what do we have on the for the line here? Yeah, Minnesota, a big favorite here, minus 154. I am just not sure what to make of Winnipeg. We talked about Winnipeg preseason, Jimmy the Bag, you said you were very high on them. My sense is that I'm not necessarily not high on them, but it makes me nervous when a team relies as much on an elite goalie as Winnipeg does. So, as usual, I'm scratching my head and listening more to you and the people in the comments section than anything else. And this is a big line. You think suddenly we're getting a little bit of value with Winnipeg? What do you think?
I'm nervous about my bet on this game. I'm on Minnesota because I think they're going to be so good and they're going to be so tough to beat at Xcel Energy Center. So, and Cam Talbot, whom I'm still like, when did this guy become so good? So I'm still backing the Wild here, but I think that the Jets are going to be a good hockey team, and the fact that they're starting out poorly should help us back the Jets moving forward. But I bet the Wild -1. I got +107. I just think that they're too good. They're so good. I mean, that Central Division is so tough. Good thing they got the Coyotes in there to give some of these teams a break because they were in the Pacific last year. The Wild seem to me like there's no doubt in my mind they're a top 10 team in the league. Are they a top 8 or a top 6 or a top 5? That's the question. They're very, very, very good. They're very deep, and they're going to be really tough to play at home. And I just think this is too difficult for the Jets. Lance LaRose on the Wild and the under. That under might be just a great, great look. What is he getting that at?
It's a 5.5 last I saw. What is it right now? Yeah, 5.5 at plus money.
Yeah, there's been a 20-cent move towards the over, which is interesting. Here in the cash flow situation, we have 2,395 tickets in. On the money line, 70% of the tickets are on Minnesota, 97% of the cash. Then we have 59% of tickets, 64% cash on the over. I don't know exactly what they're seeing on the over. The Wild certainly haven't been playing like that. But that they're also going to play a road system that Everson will preach. And then when they can get back home, maybe they open it up a little bit in front of their home crowd. A Real Deal Prime says Jets for the value. If you guys want the Jets, I would wait. Be patient here. Billy Friedrich saying Hellebuck and Talbot both confirmed. That helps so much, by the way, you guys, if you let us know who is confirmed. Birdie's on the Wild. Sean Thompson says Wild are sneaky good. Ricky Levine says Minnesota 4-1 at home against the Jets. Top shelf plays is the Devils and Wild 2-team parlay, and Slatsy's on the exact same parlay. Birdie says the Wild can play defense, man. They're trying to play 0-0, 5-on-5, and win 1-0 on the power play. This is a team that I love because it is the best approach, and they have the talent to pull it off. They're a very good hockey team, and I probably should have bet some futures on them.
So you have reason to believe that Minnesota will play a different style at home than on the road?
I do. I don't think I know that Everson is not going to want it to be too drastic of a difference, but I do. I think that they'll play always a tight conservative system on the road, and I think they'll also kind of play depending on who they're playing against. I mean, the Ducks and the Kings were both playing very defensive style against Wild, and they were happy to play along. So, yeah, I think this Wild team is really, really good. And I'm going to, anytime I can get them at home on the -1 line at plus money, I think that it's a flat bet that I make every game through the year.
All right, and I'm no NHL expert here, but if Connor Hellebuck is so awesome, Connor Hellebuck, how's he giving up 4 goals a game, Jim?
Well, I mean, this Jets defense could be partly to blame. The forwards not playing accountable defensively. I mean, they didn't have Scheifele in that first game. He's an accountable player. Blake Wheeler's accountable. But you have qualms with some of the things that Ehlers does defensively. I would have no concern with Hellebuck moving forward. And sometimes these goalies that are going to log 60 games in a year get off to slow starts.
Is it going to be a rockin' home opener for Minnesota?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be completely sold out. Going to be mayhem, screaming, yelling. It's just going to be like, this is everything in St. Paul.
Screaming, yelling.
It's going to be, yeah.
So what do you think about the first period under then? No? Because it'll be so high energy and crazy shit will happen?
That would be the concern, that it's 2-0 Minnesota after the first.
Okay. I'm going to take Winnipeg first period no goal, plus 110.
Wow, I'm very interested to track these first period no goals for these teams that I expect to struggle to score. These could be brilliant moves.
Winnipeg first period team total under a half goal, plus 110. Current line of Pinnacle.
Very interesting way of doing it. And Top Shelf Play saying, yeah, it's a beautiful bet. Huh. Very, very, very interesting. I'll be watching these things very closely, Pete.
I'm a master at listening to you, and I'm a master at reading comments in the comments section.
Those of you joining us who haven't watched us cap together before, that first year we capped together, I got up plus 43 units was my high watermark in that first season. By the end of the year, Pete beat me by, I think, 10 units. Like, I think he really, really is skilled at
listening.
Yeah, and he's taught us that too. Birdie says Wild can open it up if they have to. They choose not to. It's much easier to win hockey games giving up 2 or less than having to score 4 goals a game to win.
All right, last game. Jimmy the Bag, you ready?
Yep.
Anaheim and Edmonton. I mean, this one is just when I first looked at the game without knowing the line, my note was got to be Edmonton, right? But then when I saw whatever the hell it is in the minus 280s, now oh my god, now it's 282. When I capped the game, it was 258. Then I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go for that. Obviously, Anaheim is is iffy. Is Mike Smith for real? That's my question. I know that age can sometimes not matter as much with goalies as it matters in all other areas of sports. But are we going to expect him to be as excellent as he's been so far this year? And Anaheim is a pretty crappy team, I guess. They've won 2 or 3 though on a back-to-back. I understand that. But minus 280, we're talking about professional hockey teams here, Jimmy the Bag. What do you think?
Well, I'm a little surprised that the puck line is so low. I didn't expect that for some reason with the minus 280 or something like that. Billy Friedrich is on the puck line at minus 103. That's a pretty good price. In saying that, the Ducks are not going to take any risks at all. Stolarz has gotten off to a good start. But Mike Smith seems to have found a perfect spot for him in Edmonton. Old keeper that teams have given up on. The Oats gave up on him. Flames gave up on him. And now he's looking to try to put together multiple great seasons in a row. But he's an old keeper. But he's a character guy that people love. I think now that looking at this, I am surprised that Edmonton puck line is so cheap. And the fact that it opened up at plus 120 is just nuts to me. It opened up at Bet365 at plus 110. This morning it was plus 100. Now it's minus 105. So that isn't moving that much. That could possibly be the bet. And Jerry Beatty saying Edmonton game over because it's funny. And Brady says I was on a coaching staff that cut Mike Smith. Wow. But this line is just stupid. I'm not touching this game. I agree. It's stupid. But
Birdie was on a coaching staff that cut Mike Smith?
Oh, Birdie's been a coach of the most elite players in our country here.
Shit.
And that's who we have to cap with. And also,
nice. Shout out to you, Bird. I didn't realize I was in elite company here. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
Birdie was also focusing on NFL capping for the last few years. So he's like so invigorated and excited about capping NHL with us for a whole season. So we're very lucky to cap with him.
And I gave this guy a birthday pick. Oh, God. Detroit, full game team total over. Gotta cash. Come on, Detroit. Just give me 3, baby. I can't lose a birthday pick to Birdie. Shout out to you, Birdie.
I think that it's a simple way to play Edmonton. I think it's very, very simple. And I agree with them loading up the first line. I have no problem with it. But I think that you can't have any penalties. You've got to play a trap. You've got to dump the puck in. All these things make me think that this is an under waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Take no risks. I'd love to see where the cash is on this spot. 2,685 tickets in. 47% of the tickets on the under, 69% of cash on the under. I mean, this is Now, the question is, and this is the tough thing, can you trust Anthony Stolarz? And I don't know if you can. He certainly looked good in his first game, and that's got to help him confidence-wise. Things can hurt you quickly here. Who's that? Jerry Beatty saying it went from 5.5 to 6. I have an opener at 6. Did it really go to 5.5? Oh, he did. Wow. So initially, Pinnacle opened it at 5.5. Why do I have it opening at 6? What the hell's wrong with this thing? Let me just move this. Wow. It's because I'm not logged in. Unbelievable. Wow, I did not realize it opened up 5.5 and went to 6. Extremely interesting. If I was a coach, I would expect, and Top Shelf, I see it the same way as you, I would expect lots of games against the Oilers to go under, because you have to play Getzlaf and your best defensive wingers against that number one line of McDavid and Draisaitl, and stay off the power. No penalties. I mean, you'll say that over and over again. So I'm going to move on the under 6 in this spot.
Really?
Now, the scare will be, the fear will be that the Ducks have no legs in the third. So let's say it's 2-1 and all of a sudden the Oilers just erupt in the third period. That would be the fear. And maybe that would say, I'll take the first period under. The reason why I think that maybe taking the full game under will be better is because it's possible that it's 2-0 Oilers after the first, 3-0 after the second, and then it's the bums that get the run in the third. So, and Puzzler says both are going for their 200th goal. So yes, that might have them squeezing the stick a little bit too tight. So Top Shelf back in this. Billy Friedrich says, does McDavid outscore the Ducks 9 on his own? I'm going to add the under 6. So that's the second bet that I'm adding to. So I'm adding an under 5.5 in Islanders Blackhawks, and I'm adding an under 6 in Ducks Oilers. I'm comfortable.
Okay.
I'm comfortable. So are you making any moves here in Ducks Oilers?
No, this is going to be a total pass for me. Jimmy the Bag. Great show. I'll quickly just review the plays that I made, just in case anyone is tracking me and wants to come back later and be like, what's the deal with this Loshak guy? His ROI is minus 10%. I officially gave out the Dodgers first half under 4, minus 118. Then in the NBA, I gave out Nets Milwaukee first half under 118.5, and the Milwaukee Bucks full game team total under 117.5, minus 115. So those are 2 losses right there. I'm going to just write that in on my spreadsheet here. Lose and lose. So those are 2 losses. I also took Anthony Davis over rebounds 8.5 plus 100. I don't like that one, but that one could win. I'm gonna hold off for now on entering a win or loss on that one. Then in NHL, Montreal money line minus 151. We'll see if they can score in this game. And I took San Jose full game team total under 2.5 plus 110. Dallas first period money line plus 110. I took that one. Jimmy the Bag high on Dallas this year, but who is it again that's super low on Dallas? Top Shelf Plays super low on Dallas as well, and I was low on Dallas as well to start the year until I heard what Jimmy had to say about him, and their first few games have been a little bit uninspiring, but we'll see. I took Dallas first period money line plus 110. Washington first period money line minus 109. Then I took Detroit full game team total over 2.5 minus 145, which is also the birthday pick for Birdie. So now there's like quadruple importance with that one. Birdie, obviously an extremely impressive NHL handicapper, knows NHL 10 times. 100 times more than I do. So I got to give him a birthday pick that wins. Chicago, first period under 1.5 plus 106, and the first period team total under for Chicago, or no goal in the first period at plus 132. And then what ultimately might be the best play of the card, as I sit here right now, in my opinion, Winnipeg, first period, no goal, plus 110. First period team total under 0.5 at plus 110. Those are all of my official plays on today's card, Jim.
Beautiful. And I'm tracking all of Pete's action in NBA and NHL because we're starting a season with them. I did deem it unfair to do that with MLB because it was starting so late in the season. So we are tracking that. So all of that will be up for each of our shows, and Jose is going to be back producing it next week.
The reason it's unfair to track my NBA picks is because I openly admit that I suck at NBA. That's what's unfair about it. But you do it anyway. It's fine. It's fine, Jimmy the Back. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I think that with all of us working together here, you're going to have a nice season.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my action here. By the way, the spreadsheet play of the day is the Dodgers -1. I've made no moves in MLB. In NBA, pretty simple looks for me. I'm on the Nets money line +100, Lakers -3.5, -110. And then in NHL, I've made 5 bets before the show started. I made 5 bets last night, and I think that only one I wish I'd have done a little differently. So I have Montreal -1 at +106, Vancouver -1 at +114, Washington -1 at +1. Oh shit, no, that's not right. Sorry, that's the giving them out on Raw Mike Richards. Sorry, let me do that again. I have Montreal -1 at +112, Vancouver -1 at +125, Washington -1 at +127, and I wish I'd have done that differently. Minnesota -1 at +107, Islanders -1 at +139. That makes me a little nervous. Then I added 2 spots that I like quite a bit. That's the Stars at +110 and the Lightning at -115. I like those a lot. And then from this show, I'm adding 2 unders, the 5.5 in the Islanders game and the 6 in the Oilers game. I can't wait. Sanka, thank you for joining us. Birdie, happy birthday, my man. I'll be in touch with you throughout the night. We got a huge night of hockey ahead of us, so I'll be in touch with you, my man. But happy birthday. You're such a great guy, big asset to what we do here. So we love you so much. And birthday pick is there for you. Millsy's on McDavid to score as well. I don't like the market for McDavid goals, by the way. Just personally, I just think he doesn't score 82 goals a year. He doesn't score 41 goals at home. So I fear getting like that. You should be getting a nice plus spot for that, and they don't give it to you. So it kind of is something that scares me moving forward. Pete, we also have a birthday for our guy Dutch Boy Fresh, and he'll be on the show at 4 p.m. talking NBA basketball. I love working with you, Pete. I love working with the chat. This was a good show. Do you have any last words for these great guys?
No, not really. Shout out to everyone, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes, we will see you next Tuesday. But most importantly, let's get that cash. Hey, those bookmakers! Get that shit. Roll that shit up like